You are tired. But this is not the good kind of tired. It is not the honor of a day spent in the fields. It is not the soreness of the iron temple. This is a gray, heavy, sticky exhaustion. You sleep for 12 hours, yet you wake up beaten. You go on vacation, you lie on the sand, but the engine in your head never stops spinning. Your eyes are closed, but your browser tabs are still open. Let me tell you a secret. You are not tired. You are dirty. Modern medicine calls this burnout. Corporate world calls it stress management. But the ancestors of the samurai, the ancient Shinto masters, they had a more accurate name for it. A name that reveals the horror of your condition. Kegare. Ke means spirit, or life energy. Gare means withered, or stained. Kegare is the withering of the spirit. It is not that your energy is gone. It is that your flow has stopped. A flowing river is alive. It is clean. But if you stop the water, it becomes a swamp. It rots. It breeds disease. Right now, your mind is that swamp. Why? Because modern life is a toxicity factory. Think about your morning. You wake up. Before your feet even touch the floor, you grab the black mirror, and you inject the sewage of the world directly into your brain. Wars, greed, fake happiness. Who is wearing what? Who is hating who? Before you have even washed your face, you have bathed your soul in garbage. Then you go to work. You smile at people you do not respect. You say yes to projects you do not believe in. You swallow your truth just to keep the peace. Just to fit in. Just to be safe. Every lie, every fake smile, every moment of pretending leaves a residue on your spirit, like exhaust smoke on a window. It is invisible at first, but day by day, week by week, it builds up, it hardens. You lose your original color. You turn gray. This is Kegare. And what does the modern world tell you to do? Take some me time. Watch Netflix. Buy something nice. Get a massage. This is like trying to clean a muddy car by spraying perfume on it. You are trying to cover the rot, but the rot is still there. Comfort does not clean Kegare. Comfort feeds it. You cannot cure a rotting limb with soft pillows. You have to shock it. You have to reset the system. When your computer freezes, do you stroke the mouse gently? Do you whisper sweet words to the screen? Number. You pull the plug. You cut the power. You force a hard reset. The ancient warriors knew this. When they returned from battle, they carried the blood of their enemies, but they also carried the heavy energy of death. If they made a mistake, they carried the weight of shame. They knew they could not live with this weight. They could not enter the next battle with a stained spirit. So, they created a protocol. Misogi. Chi. Misogi is not just a bath. Misogi is a spiritual format. Legend says it began with Izanagi, the creator god. He went down to Yomi, the land of the dead, to save his wife. He saw rot. He saw darkness. He saw absolute terror. He failed to save her. He ran back to the surface, back to the sunlight, but he felt the filth of the underworld clinging to his skin. He felt the death on him. What did he do? He did not cry. He did not seek therapy. He ran to a river, and he threw himself into the freezing, rushing water. He said, "I wash away the evil. I wash away the dead." When he washed his left eye, the sun goddess was born. When he washed his right eye, the moon god was born. When he washed his nose, the storm god was born. Do you understand the lesson? Power comes from purity. New life only begins when you violently wash away the old. Izanagi triggered a hard reset, and he created gods. Your yomi is not the land of the dead. Your yomi is the office, the traffic, the endless scroll, the toxic relationships. You descend into hell every single day. And you come home smelling of spiritual death. A warm shower will not clean this. A bubble bath will not fix this. Nothing that makes you feel cozy can remove the stain. You need water, but not calm water. You need cold. A cold so sharp it hurts your bones. You need shock. A shock that steals your breath. A shock that stops your heart for a beat. A shock that silences the whining voice in your head like a blade. This is Misogi. Misogi is leaving the comfort zone to face the raw, brutal honesty of nature. In the next part, we will tell you how to survive the shock, and we will give you the Misogi challenge for the modern world. Get ready? So, you think Misogi is just a cold shower? You think it is just shivering in a bathtub for 3 minutes? Number. That is just the training wheels. That is just the daily maintenance. True Misogi, the ancient ritual, was not about hygiene. It was about death. Not physical death, but the death of the ego, the death of the comfort, the death of the fake self that you wear like a costume at your job. To wash away the Kegare, the spiritual rot, you cannot just scrub the skin. You have to shake the soul. In the modern world, we have forgotten what hard feels like. We simulate difficulty. We play video games where we are soldiers. We watch movies where other men are brave. We watch sports where other men bleed. But you are sitting on a soft couch, eating soft food, living a soft life. Because you are safe, you are stagnant. And because you are stagnant, you are rotting. You need a Misogi challenge. This is not a workout. This is not going to the gym. This is not running a 5K for charity. A workout is built on certainty. You know you can lift the weight. You know you can run the mile. You do it to look good. Misogi is built on uncertainty. You do it to feel real. There are only 2 rules for a true modern Misogi. Rule number 1. There must be a 50% chance of failure. Listen to me closely. If you look at the challenge and say, I can definitely do that, it is not Misogi. It is just a chore. It is just a hobby. Misogi must scare you. It must make your stomach turn. It must look impossible to your logical brain. Why 50%? Because in that gap, in that space between I might do this and I might fail, that is where the magic happens. That is where the Kegare burns off. When you are facing a 50% chance of failure, you cannot worry about your emails. You cannot worry about what your boss said. You cannot worry about likes on Instagram. The fear of failure clears the cache of your brain. It forces you into the absolute present moment. Rule number 2. You cannot die. This is important. Misogi is not suicide. It is not recklessness. Safety is non-negotiable. But it must feel like you are going to die. It must feel like your lungs are burning, like your legs are turning to stone, like your mind is shattering into 1,000 pieces. Let me explain the difference between a marathon and a Misogi. People train for a marathon for months. They follow a plan. They buy the expensive shoes. They download the app. They know exactly how far they will run. They know there are water stations every 2 miles. That is an accomplishment, but it is safe. It is controlled. A Misogi is taking an underwater rock and walking 5 kilometers on the ocean floor. A Misogi is climbing a mountain in the dark with no guide, just a map. A Misogi is silence for 3 days. No words, no screens, no input. It is something you cannot optimize. It is chaotic. It is raw. Why do we need this? Because you have forgotten who you are. You think you are your job title. You think you are your bank account. You think you are your anxieties. But when you are at hour 12 of a Misogi, when you are cold, when you are exhausted beyond words, when you are stripped of all your comforts, the corporate you dies. The social media you dies. The anxious you dies. And what remains? The animal, spirit, the truth. You realize that your problems at the office are not real problems. You realize that someone not texting you back is a joke. You realize how strong you actually are. This is the reset. When you come back from a Misogi, the colors of the world look brighter. The food tastes better. The noise of the society sounds quieter. You have cleaned the lens. You have washed away the Kegare. You don't need to do this every day. You can't. It would destroy you. The ancient rule is simple. Once a year. One defining event. One impossible task. One moment where you stare into the abyss and you don't blink. So, what does a modern Misogi look like? How do you design one for yourself? Do you need to be an athlete? Do you need to be a monk? Number. In the next part, I will give you the blueprint. I will show you how to design your own hard reset. And I will warn you about the drift. Because once you get clean, the world will try to make you dirty again. Prepare yourself. You clean your house on Sunday. It's spotless. It smells of lemon and order. But look at it on Wednesday. A cup on the table, a shirt on the chair, dust on the shelf. You did not choose to make it dirty. It just happened. This is the law of the universe. Entropy. Order always dissolves into chaos. This happens to your soul, too. We call this the drift. The drift is the slow, invisible decline of your standards. You don't wake up one day fat, lazy, and depressed. It happens one missed workout at a time, one cheat meal at a time, one excuse at a time. You drift from the path, and because the current is slow, you don't feel it moving until you wake up one day, miles away from the shore. Misogi is the anchor. Misogi is the violent act of swimming back to the shore against the current. So, how do you design your Misogi? I am going to give you the blueprint. 3 types of hard resets for the modern warrior. Option 1, the physical Misogi, the body breaker. This is the most primal form. Remember the rules. 50% chance of failure. You cannot die. Go to Google Maps. Find a point that is 30 kilometers away. Walk there, carrying a 20-kilogram pack. Or find a heavy rock underwater. Pick it up. Walk across the bottom of the pool. Drop it. Come up for air. Repeat for 5 hours. Sounds stupid, right? Why would I walk with a rock? Because it is pointless. That is the secret. If you run a marathon, you get a medal. You get applause. If you walk with a rock, you get nothing. Accept the knowledge that you did it. At hour 3, your brain will scream, "This is pointless. Stop. Go home." That moment, when you want to quit because it is stupid and hard, that is the moment the Misogi begins. That is the moment you are cleaning the Kegare. Option 2, the mental Misogi, the silence. This one is harder than lifting weights. Rent a cabin in the woods, or lock yourself in a room for 72 hours, 3 days. No phone, no computer, no books, no writing, no talking, no music. Just you and the walls. In the first 6 hours, you will be bored. In the first 12 hours, you will be anxious. In the first 24 hours, you will think you are going insane. Your brain is an addict. It is addicted to dopamine. When you cut the supply, it will go into withdrawal. It will bring up old memories, regrets, fears, things you have been running from for 10 years. You will have to sit with them. You will have to stare them in the eye. But on day 3, the noise stops. Mud settles. The water becomes clear. You will hear your own voice for the first time in years. Option 3, the creative Misogi, the great work. For the artists, the writers, the creators. Pick a project that should take a month. Do it in 24 hours. Write a book chapter, code an app, paint a canvas. Start at sunrise. Do not stop until sunrise tomorrow. No breaks, no naps, just flow. At 3 a.m., the demons will come. Fatigue will try to break your fingers. Your eyes will burn. But if you push through the wall, you enter a state of trance. You channel something higher than yourself. This is the blueprint. Pick one. Put it on the calendar. Tell no one. Misogi is not for Instagram. If you post a selfie during your Misogi, you have failed. You have turned a spiritual act into a performance. You have invited the Kegare back in. Do it alone. Do it in the dark. Do it for the only audience that matters. The mirror. But be warned. The hardest part of Misogi is not the event itself. The hardest part is coming back. When you return to the world of noise, when you return to the office, when you return to the drift, you will feel alienated. You will feel like a wolf among sheep. How do you integrate this power without losing your mind? How do you keep the crystal clean in a world of mud? In the final part, we will talk about the aftermath. We will teach you how to carry the cold water with you forever. You finish the walk. You drop the rock. You step out of the silence. Your body is broken, but your eyes are open for the first time in years. This is the post-Misogi state. You feel light. The heavy gray coat of Kegare is gone. You look at your phone, and it looks like a toy. You look at your problems, and they look small. You feel invincible. But listen to me carefully. This is the most dangerous moment. Because now, you have to go back. You have to go back to the city, back to the office, back to the people who are still asleep. They will try to pull you down. Not because they are evil, but because your clarity offends them. Your silence makes them loud. Your focus makes them scattered. Your purity makes them feel their dirt. The drift will grab you by the ankles. It'll try to drag you back into the swamp. And if you are not careful, in 2 weeks, you will be gray again. How do we stop this? How do we keep the Misogi alive? You need an anchor. Misogi was the hard reset, the yearly event. Now you need the maintenance, the daily ritual. You need a microdose of the struggle, every single day. It can be small, a cold shower every morning, not to clean the body, but to shock the spirit. 10 minutes of staring at a wall, not to meditate, but to kill the dopamine addiction. Writing your goals by hand, not to plan, but to sign a contract with yourself. This daily ritual is your totem. It is a reminder of who you were on that mountain. It is a reminder of who you were under that water. When you feel the stress coming back, when you feel the Kegare stick into your skin, touch the anchor. Remember the pain of the Misogi. Pain is clarity. Comfort is amnesia. The world wants you soft. The world wants you weak. The world wants you to be a good little consumer. But you have seen the other side. You have washed your eyes in the river of Izanagi. You know that you are not just a machine for answering emails. You are a spirit encased in flesh, and that spirit demands to be clean. Do not let them stain you again. Plan your Misogi. Find your edge. Jump. And when you come back, do not explain it to anyone. They will not understand. Just walk different. Talk different. Look different. Let your presence be the proof. You are clean. Stay clean.